looks like Collins was absolutely swamped there as they come up the hill. No, excuse me, maybe Brabham, who did not get the start, so a complete reverse of what he had in the qualifying race.
Really impressed from that 19 of Art Heber. He poked the nose down to the inside and ultimately had to back out because the door closed in front of him, but the Formula cars up at the top of the hill. Kyle Collins leading the way over Geoff Brabham. If anything, look at Art Heber there in that third place. He's trying to sneak in.
Giving watch as it's Martin Lauber, it looks like in the 36, who's managed to work his way up, made up a lot of positions. He started from 5th place. And now as our timing and scoring starts to update, yeah, we see them shuffle upwards on the field. They'll head out of the carousel. Good acceleration there. Brabham looks like he keeps that 2nd place from the start despite being a little bit sluggish off the line. He's already trying to overtake Collins, who has not run off quite yet. You can see the arms moving inside that cockpit.
I think what's really visually really neat between these two cars, that Kyle out front is in a 1966. You had mentioned this, and Geoff is in a couple years newer, a 1971 model. And look at the difference in the nose and in the ride height, just the way the bodywork is shaped and the front end, how it's set up. Two completely different cars. Geoff obviously totally comfortable using the full width of the exit curve.
I am not surprised. He raced sports cars in the 80s, and those things were dangerous. So,
and he got really close there, too.
Fear probably is not in his vocabulary. They have run away from Lashway. He is nowhere to be seen, and the gap is about 4 seconds between the top 2 and 3rd place. So running away to make it a 2-horse race. And yeah, you were talking about the differences between a 66 and a 71. There were massive technological advancements between those years in Formula racing.
And it's really cool to just see it visually. Of course, when you park the cars next to them, you can see that they look differently, but when they're actually at speed on the racetrack, they seem to hug themselves a little bit lower to the ground. You actually see the attitude of the cars as they enter and kind of squirm for traction, trying to find where it is to find that speed.
Down and around, off of turn 6. They're still using those exit curves and seem to be plenty comfortable on that one. Under braking, not much of a change between the two of them. So, sort of looking like a bit of a stalemate in these early stages, but still plenty of racing to go. A good ebb and flow between them.
I'm very impressed with the 83 now. Of course, we know how excellent of a driver he is, but I think just in terms of the pace that we've seen from the data, right, the hard data from timing and scoring has showed that number 9 car is the faster car throughout the weekend. So I'm happy that whatever this team did, whatever Geoff is doing, they turned it up, and it's a race.
Coming off the final corner, Collins has been setting purple sectors. He was quickest last lap. Let's see what it winds up being this lap if he continues to outpace him. And yeah, another fastest lap of the race for Collins, down to 37.7. Brabham 37.8 as they went by. There are minuscule differences between them at this stage. The 9 cannot relax at any point on this track. I think if he makes any sort of mistake, Geoff's going to pounce.
What's really impressive, though, is that these two cars that we're watching on our screens, they are in the 37s, like you had just mentioned. Everybody else, the next fastest lap time, a 1:41. These two cars are turning laps 4 seconds faster than anybody else.
Impressive. And really shows why they have distanced themselves so much up to this point. It's 7.5 seconds down, 11 seconds to Hebert, actually, as Lauber seems to have had a problem. He is suddenly dropping through the order, and he either had a spin or the car has experienced an issue.
Yeah, that's not good to see. That's that number 36 that had such a terrific start, and I'm with you. He is dropping down the order right now, so evidently an issue. And something else I was noticing about these lap times, those 37s, I mean, what was the fastest we saw Stephen Romack do? Maybe a 29, 28?
Yeah.
So these cars, what, 40 years older, almost 50 years older, still less than 10 seconds slower.
Yeah, it's really wild to see. And again, a testament to the straight line speed of these cars, for sure, because we know that car made all of its speed from the downforce. track we're seeing, somewhere in Sector 1. We haven't quite got visual of it yet. We'll see if we can figure out where he wound up. They haven't thrown a yellow flag that we have been able to spot, so he must be somewhere safe at this stage.
It is starting to eke out a little bit of a gap between these top two, and I think it's excruciatingly close because the last two lap times, it's only been about a tenth of a second, maybe a tenth and a half of a second, but the advantage has fallen towards Kyle Collins, and it seems to be growing this lap as well.
And you know, we always talk about, even with modern drivers, the impressiveness of the professionals to be able to hit consistent laps over and over again. Imagine trying to do that in these cars, which are, as we always say, all analog. And is that Lauber that we finally found on the exit 7?
No, this I believe is the 27 car. I think that this is Sweeney because he is stopped in sector number 2 while Lauber is somewhere in sector number 1. Now this car is pulled completely off of the racing surface. However, we have seen race control take note of cars that are kind of out in this direction versus behind the corner.
That's a good point. So maybe they'll let him sit there and just ruminate for the final 6 laps of this race. Lap traffic now being approached by the 9 of Collins. So he's going to have to deal with that. But the good news for Kyle is that he's got himself a healthy gap in this stage over Brabham. Even though Geoff made a race of it early, he's not been able to hang as close as he hoped.
I'd love to be able to see if we can catch this battle for what is 4th place on the racetrack. It's going to be the number 21 and the number 24. They're at start-finish right now between the blue and the orange car. And here's another car that's, this is, I believe, the 86 that has stopped. This is a different car.
Had another car that we saw going slow that may have been involved and just taken off. This is somewhere between turns 4 and 6 we're hearing. That looks like just before the entry of 6, I think. That might be a bit more dangerous, unfortunately. But we'll see what race control says in the end. Still being led by Collins at the front of the fields. 9 unable to be caught so far, and you were right about that battle between Boutsen and Turpins. Just looked just nose to tail as they rounded the corner.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it kind of grew just a touch. They're right here at the turn 7 hairpin. These are the 2 cars that are just exiting that corner right now, so it's going to be, I believe, what is the blue 24 being chased by that, call it yellow and orange. Number 21, both painted very beautiful.
Eye-catching, without a doubt. Will come through the S's. And yeah, it is much farther apart, so it looks as though Matthew has turned up the wick a little bit and decided he does not want any of that pressure. He's going to try and take off, see if he can maybe get on the podium with Hebert. Currently sitting up the road only about 3 seconds. That's still catchable at this stage.
And I think it's important to note as we jump back up to these top couple cars here that those 2 giving chase are not in Brabham's. One's a Lotus 69B sitting there in 3rd place, and the other one's a Chevron B17. So getting a little bit of variety up there as well.
See a few more of them. Got a battle farther down. This is the 18 giving chase on Egger. Is Brabham. And then Hornig just in front of the light blue number 5, Brabham BT18 So a number of Brabhams here farther down. Terrific 4-car train. I mean, I'm looking at it out the windshield here. I should say out the window here.
Maybe out the visor if I had a helmet on. I would love to get inside one of these cars. And there's the 88. We were making comments on the first day, just the shape of the 88, a little different there, driven by George Wittich.
Yeah, it definitely stands out. It's eye-catching, and he's going to force a defense from Kitchen as he tries to cover the inside of turn 11. That splits them up slightly. Instead of a battle of 4, it's now become pairs. But I think the 6 of Egger might get Hornig as he looks to the inside. He's going to manage to get wheel to wheel, and I think that Ager has decided, or Hornick rather, has decided it's not worth fighting the risk up into the corner. Behind them being caught, the 18 of Kitchen liked that battling because it allowed them to regain some time.
If Kitchen can get up there and pass that car, that'll put him inside the top 10. So right now Hornick going to try to run away in that yellow number 5, and he's doing an excellent job at it already. Here we go, side by side. This is Kyle Collins going to be making his way through. I spotted that car just because of how fast it was making its way through.
Wow, so our leader is...
Look at that, around the outside like it's nothing.
Goodness. Bravery, too. Trusted his competitors. That means he's lapped all the way up to, I believe, about 9th or 8th place.
Yeah, I think he just passed Egger there.
Yeah.
In 9th place.
Wow, so he has just trounced the field today. Brabham 6 seconds behind.
The other drivers are going to be like, I thought this was a 10-lap race.
For not according to Collins for them. He gets to make a 10-lap race, but they won't. We watch that fight carry on down through. There is that LeGrand, the 88, trying not to get in the way of Geoff Brabham. The 83 manages to sneak through.
And it looks like our leader is in the turn 11 area. He's actually going to be accelerating out towards the start-finish line. He's the one at start-finish right now. That number 9 car of Kyle Collins is showing 2 laps to go from him.
Wow, this one really blasted by. Don't think they needed anywhere near the 20-minute time limit that they needed for this one. There you can see that leader. Penultimate lap for him. Coming up through turns 3 and 3A once again. Just making it look easy out there. I don't think we've seen any sort of squiggles or shakes or moments of hesitation out of that car.
And I don't know if you mentioned it, 10 seconds now. 10 seconds he's been able to pull over that 83 of Geoff Brabham. So you were talking about consistency earlier on. Kyle Collins has yet to lift.
Not many people get to say that they beat Geoff Brabham in a car bearing his name.
That's true, and an older one too.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a day to celebrate if you are the number 9. He's just carrying on almost as if he's on a Sunday drive, which you could say he is today, but
I was just, did you see the change of direction out of that thing? I mean, so we're used to watching, call it current Formula cars, just have the pointy nose and go back and forth with the arrow, but Kyle Collins is kind of showing how light these cars are, how nimble they are, and how rapidly they can change directions.
Exactly. They will slide a little bit more, but yeah, they are made to really just slice through these curves as he gets the one-to-go signal up at the flag stand. Final lap for Kyle Collins. Now up to 12 seconds I'm seeing, continuing to extend it. Heber has got himself 18 seconds actually up ahead. We're talking about Matthew Knudsen. He's stayed within about 2.5 of Heber. I don't think he's going to be close enough to try and make a challenge for that podium position.
And as we keep our cameras here on the leader, I just want to point out another couple battles, get their names out there. In 7th and 8th right now, Chris Rose and Rick back there in that number 13. They are locked into a tremendous fight, only about 1/4 of a second separating that 1969 Brabham and a 1971 Hawk DL6B.
Another brand that I'm not as familiar with these older cars. Certainly has been doing decently, getting a top 10 here today in what is a healthy field of these Formula B cars. And with just only a few more corners left to go for Kyle Collins, he's put trouncing on. And you can't say that it is due to the equipment, because a 1966 car versus, I think, nearly all of them being younger machinery tells you that Kyle Collins is very good behind the wheel. Just a small handful that I think are 1965. Otherwise, he is in one of the oldest cars, but clearly one of the fastest as he takes the win here Sunday at the Velocity Invitational. Geoff Brabham, he could have a little bit of a sip of tea before he gets to the line.
Yeah, I think it's about 17 seconds before the number 83 is going to reach that. And I mean, it was only 12 seconds, maybe a couple laps ago. There is the number 83 of Geoff Brabham taking a nice cruise across the start and finish line.
He knew he couldn't do anything to take that one, so just enjoying that car for the last lap. Shippert going to finish all 10 of our laps, take himself third place. There he goes across the line now. Boutsen only 2.6 behind him, just missed out on the podium. Now we got to wait for Turpins, who's a little bit farther behind to complete our top 5, and there he is. We have another short break for an exhibition group to be racing around. Then our final race of the weekend takes place at 4:10. It's the Mini versus Muscle.